वाली अंकनी डंकनी को पसंद करे, अल्लाह बिस्मिल्लाह को पसंद करे।
Hello, dear friends. 2 years ago, when I was making the 31st episode of this series, little did I know that one of the prophesied things about abortion, human flesh put in the high-end cosmetics, is already a reality. I simply didn't know about that. So, yet one more proof of the accuracy of the decades-old prophecies. And yet another detail from, again, old Orthodox prophecies, some of them at least decades old, was that the flag with the star will be all over the world. Well, they're beginning to introduce the trend all over the government buildings in America, in UK, even compulsory, all over Europe. And then we read in the news how in a country after country they are introducing martial law in milder form still. But Utrok Vyacheslav told us about this, that in state after state they will find some sort of reason to introduce martial law before the beginning of the proper tribulation. And the fact that all these developments are exactly as prophesied is very important for those who still are serious about remaining humans, those who will not accept the new passports, because the main message of these prophecies which are coming true is that they should not fear, and they will be the only ones who will be safe from the storm in this life and the next. So where are we on this timetable? Maybe around the Middle East War of the 30 Princes and widespread warfare in Africa. We are not yet there in Africa, but it is starting to boil. And as far as the Middle East, they are going according to plan, which they had since decades. As usual, the Satanists are in charge of the both sides of the bloody conflict, which for them is just one single sacrifice, bloody sacrifice to their bloodthirsty deity. And no wonder that even the initial tribulation, if you listen to the analysis of the people who really follow those things, the initial aggressive party, they couldn't have reached so far, most likely without the collaboration of the so-called victims. Don't let the mass media steal your precious time and attention with useless analysis of which of the countries involved is bad and which is good, because as all their talk, this is a useless waste of time, pointless. The actual victims are the common people, and the actual aggressors are the individuals who have sold the lives of the people, of their countrymen, for membership in the Satanic Club. And so they're slaughtering people by thousands. For example, at a rave concert, they changed the location of the rave party, the venue, or from their point of view, sacrifice arena, 48 hours before the event, and made it very conveniently located for those who will play in the theater the role of aggressors. And in all reports, the poor young people who got slaughtered during the theater play chapter advertised so much by the mass media, they're always depicted as completely innocent. And that is surely true on a certain level. Many of them were hippie-type people, very peaceful. But an essential detail is missing in most reports. Exactly the detail which will make the listeners of those reports learn karmic lessons. Namely, that these rave concerts are way too often satanic rituals in disguise, which becomes clear from the symbols which are used. Usually there is this modern lightning, and on the photos I saw too many satanic symbols, clear satanic symbols, and not even one clearly angelic symbol. People should be more careful in this perilous times, if they visit venues of possible satanic rituals, well, you may end up being sacrificed, exactly as it happened to those few hundred young people recently. And same end may befall many other people who also unknowingly take part just by watching concerts remotely. After all, they can send you the new passport also remotely, and you can sign remotely probably. Of course, they will make it very user-friendly, and you will be able to make your entire booking for a specific place in hell remotely. In this type of rave parties, mind-altering drugs are also often used. Probably a very small percentage of them would be actually sacred plants, which are beneficial. And even if somebody is using sacred plants in this context, in this environment, so close, in such a close physical proximity to thousands of other peoples who are on other not sacred plants, that is very dangerous because drugs are something very powerful, and the Satanists have been taking full advantage of it. Even now, there is a wave of liberalization of drugs in America and a little bit in some other parts of the world. And sadly, at the end, that means more usage of the modern artificial drugs, which in overall, and not always, but in overall, bring much more harm than benefit. And in addition to that, even when sacred, good plants, magic plants are taken in this modern context, with satanic symbols, satanic music all around, and God knows, maybe even vaccinated shamans, then when the door of the other dimension opens, such people may take the dark path, because taking a sacred plant is not a guarantee. It doesn't deprive you of your choice to go the wrong way at any time. So what they advertise as wars between nations is nothing else but an organized sacrifice. That's why from the very beginning the actual name which they put on the operation, the Al-Aqsa flood, which shows how important for them is the coronation thing from this child, from which we are just a couple of years away, 4, 5, 6. And no wonder that since long time it has been circulating in the alternative media, the rumor that they are planning to blow up the Al-Aqsa Mosque just because their man wants to have his temple for the ceremony just exactly at that spot. And all this is probably very near. The tension is escalating there. They're making introductory rituals already on the spot, although if you read Wikipedia, this is an Islamic place of worship. Actually, worship as such is banned there for Muslims. Sometimes they don't even let them in. And the rest of this video will be actually the previous video with a few small corrections because of a mistake I made, a confusion between the Al-Aqsa Mosque, which is in the proximity of the Dome of the Rock, and actually some sources, quite few sources, all the time confuse it with the Mosque of Omar. It seems after all that they're planning to blow up the mosque in the proximity of the Dome of the Rock and not the Omar Mosque, although even according to some official sources it is Omar. But sorry for that mistake, but there could be also deliberate confusion because besides even official sources being regularly confused about the two mosques, many common people actually mistake the Al-Aqsa Mosque with the Dome of the Rock because they usually publish photos of the dome instead of the mosque. According to some, this is also done on purpose so that when they destroy the Al-Aqsa Mosque, people will not figure out what is happening exactly because the Dome on the Rock is still standing. By the day, it is getting clearer that we are getting nearer to major moves on this chessboard. And now it is about the famous third temple in Jerusalem, which has to be completed for them to put the crown on the head of the Antichrist. So on Israeli television, you can find the exact sources of these links in this video. So in the TV report, they showed which government agencies are involved in the project. So the third temple project is in the budget of the country for April next year. And they have proudly bragged that they have those special red kefir, small cows, delivered for their blood sacrifices from America by plane, special, raised in super whatever conditions. And now they think it's a time to clear the building spot for the construction of the temple. So they can't just take it down because of religious scandals, but if somebody kindly blows it for them, then they will look innocent, right? And by the way, according to the TV program, how are they gonna make space for their third temple? They say, well, it will be peaceful coexistence, it will enhance the Muslim shrine currently present. That's what they show on TV, and what is happening on the ground, they are cutting off the area. They don't actually allow locals to enter in many cases, while they themselves make some sort of God knows what kind of ritual, blowing horns and things like that, shouting that they will build their third temple on the ruins of this shrine. Here and there I find small pieces of prophecy, so here are a couple of them. The first one is of the Saint Athanasius. So although he left this world, his body remained in good condition, and around him a good number of miracles have happened. And some 15 years ago, his spirit spoke to a young girl who was visiting the shrine, and the details which she gave are now coming through. So seeing is believing, and because at that time the girl was recorded on video, now that video became popular when things started happening. So the story in the recording goes like this. First, there will be sickness which will affect to some extent everybody, and after that they will start stamping the people with the mark, and then another sickness will come which will be somehow related to animals, and because of that people will start dropping dead. After they start introducing the mark, only after that they will ignite the wars amongst the Slavic people and the World War. This is one more video with the full details of Saint Athanasius' message, where he also warned that they will introduce the world passport, the mark. All of a sudden, overnight, they will start forcing it on the people the next morning. And then, as it was said also in many other prophecies, they will close down the cities, they will cut off areas, and people will be trapped. And by the way, these Slavic wars mentioned by the spirit of Athanasius, they were not as obvious back then, 15 years ago. Only now, in the last couple of months, there is quite a lot of escalation of tension in those regions. On one side, Georgia, Armenia, and Azerbaijan, parts of them are either in war zone or kind of civil unrest zone. On the other side, the Ukraine and the heavy movement of artillery and soldiers from the west to Eastern Europe. And yet on the top of that, again around Bosnia and Herzegovina, that conflict, they have already positioned the military. I don't think it will be many years before the actual war is organized. It kind of looks like that they need a couple of years more, but we should not trust them. There could be some changes, as Athanasius says. They will enforce the passport overnight, and in the morning they will start forcing it on the people. So in this interesting short video, Alexander Bramonov is showing his idea of how the new earth will look like after the reign of the Antichrist. In the very beginning, of course, afterwards there will be even higher and higher technologies, but this will be kind of the first aid for the transportation system at those times. Very simple and small airships which use as much fuel as an economic car nowadays, but they land and take off in any conditions, even on water, without the airport. Even if the engine gives up in mid-flight, still they are designed like this that they will land without harming the passengers. So there will be various models. That was the smallest, and this is the biggest, half a kilometer in length, 50 meters high. It is something like an airship. The airship balloons are the closest ancestors of the big one, and the smaller planes, they easily land on it, take whatever goods are there for the small farms, while the big vehicle continues its journey without stopping. However, all that will be for those who do not take the upcoming One World passport. And these airships in this video, they're not some super fantastic technology so much. Many of them are simply technologies which we already have since long time, but they're not allowing us to use it. And there are quite a few other interesting machines in that video, and actually a user sent me a question, but how to translate it? The answer is I don't know. I barely use internet lately. I remember years ago there was automatic transcript for every video, and even some sort of poor translation was always provided. I don't see this feature anymore. Also, people are asking me to activate subtitles. Doesn't seem to be possible from my interface. Many features from the creator interface there just have degraded so much that they don't even work anymore. I don't know when the judgment day will be upon us, but what I'm sure is that my personal judgment is very soon, and for that reason, I have abandoned all other projects recently, and I'm working only on my personal self, because that is the only meaningful thing which we can do while we are alive on this earth. The external achievements will not end up being so important. After all, 10-20 years ago, I would keep myself updated in terms of technology. I used to do programming, writing scripts on semi-professional level and designing websites, but now I don't even know simple things. I'm really getting divorced from the modern world. And here a Greek monk, Achilleus, he gives a bit more details about the upcoming card, the One World card. It will look exactly like the Visa cards. Visually there will be no difference, same size, same everything, and that's what will mislead the people, because the technology inside will be more or less a computer. As you go around, it will make logs of everything you do during the day, every day of your life, and of course only the artificial intelligence, the machine, will be able to read that. Not you. People will think they just have something like Visa cards in their pockets, because only with that they will be able to buy and sell. It will be constantly connected to their internet via the satellites. So in case they have some urgent message to put in your head, they can do it with the help of this card. And not only it will wait for instructions from the artificial intelligence, but it will have some sort of intelligence on its own, and it will be able to react intelligently, according to the parasites, on different situations around the person which it possesses. So it will take decisions on the spot what to do with the person and how to influence it on the goal. So all this will be built in from the very beginning. However, they will only start using it actively after everybody gets one. So that in the beginning, people will really not think this is anything special, just yet another card. They have so many already. Library cards, it looks the same. So somebody submitted a question about the healing videos which claim to remove fix from the blood. Yes, I have encountered such things, and a few times I even tried to watch and see what it, but it's just such a waste of time and quite dangerous. It actually promotes the acceptance of the devilish technologies. They make a bunch of speculative ideas, usually based on bogus alternative healing, not the real one. And then, without any proof, they claim that it could remove the nanotechnology. At least those which I have seen, they have absolutely no proof. It's just ridiculous. And on the top of that, the type of people who preach such stuff, they don't care for the opinion of the prophets. They think they know better. And all these saints, especially the Orthodox ones, which I've been quoting throughout this series, they have proven that they are for true with the miraculous healings. But the nanotechnology fake removers, they think they know better. So the parasites, they kindly share with the public their plans for the future. And one of their speakers recently said that we couldn't fix everybody, and people don't seem to take global warming seriously. So she said, let's make an experiment. If we stop their water, then let's see if they will unite enough in the name of common evil. We haven't had water here in the tap for 1 month now. So somebody sent a question in regards to feeding directly from the ether without the need of what we now call food. And the question is it handed for free or with proper training of the mind and body? Is it good to start fasting and deprive from food addiction? Yes, judging from what the prophecies say, it will be handed for free without the need of any special training. At least for most people, probably training is not needed. It's good to eat now, because if one starts fasting now, then the body may be even weaker when the real hunger starts. The way I see things is at the current moment it's important to eat the right things and not think of how much exactly you need. That will come automatic. If you eat whatever grows around, whatever you can grow yourself or collect from the wild, the food itself will show you. It will make it automatic how much you take from it. While if you stuff yourself with ice creams and pizzas from the shop, they're designed like that, to be addicted. You just need more and more, but because it's junk, your body doesn't get proper nutrition. And even though the belly grows big, the body and the mind are not nourished. So in other words, I don't think the important is to regulate so much the amount, but the important thing, what exactly do you eat? Just start eating whatever you find or grow yourself around in your area. And the rest takes care of itself automatically. Especially I have noticed when I try to eat only wild stuff for a few days, it really, I feel like better processing intelligence. in my head, even to the point it doesn't allow you to overeat automatically. And the type of people who need nutrition labels from the shop to decide what they should eat or not, they're most likely to be in trouble no matter what quantity do they eat now.
Sim.